Okay, Chris Castro, the talented graphic designer and cocktail master and food. I mean, you kind of like do it all, right?
I just love like doing something, always. So.
And always with such a beautiful flair to it, even when you're just making breakfast for your family.
Thank you.
Okay, so I brought Chris on so we could talk about the market at Commonplace. And where is that located?
It's in Midtown, so it's 12th and Walker.
Okay.
It would be on the northwest corner of 12th and Walker.
Okay.
So it used to be an organic squeeze a long time ago, like a real big one. And that space got broken up. So Go got the north half, and we got the southern half of it. So we have a corner.
Okay. And it's like a really fun group of a whole bunch of shops all together that I love.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's kind of really rounded out for sure.
And then you've got Commonplace on the end, books on the end. And then what went in the kitchen space?
So these really great local guys, Sincerely Coffee, they're also part of Capitals, the Capitals guys.
Oh, really?
Started a coffee roaster, and it's Sincerely. And they actually roast our house blend. So we have a house blend of coffee that we sell. And we just reached out to them, and Ian, the roaster, he just has a lot of skill. So we were kind of like, I want, as much as I love, I buy coffee that's $20 a bag and $15 a bag. There's definitely a place for that. I wanted something that someone could come in for $10 a bag and buy, and it was good.
Right.
And so he did a really good job of kind of finding profiles of coffees that were really good that we could sell at that price range. And so we kind of made a house blend, and that's what we have. And that's actually from those guys down the street.
Okay.
Sincerely. So they opened a little, it's indefinite, like a coffee pop-up in the old kitchen space. Sorry, Frankie.
Frankie is the assistant for today.
He is the assistant for the day. Very helpful.
The background soundtrack. I stopped and got a coffee, and it was yum. I got a latte with cinnamon, and they said they made all their own syrups, and I was super impressed.
Yeah, they're really good. They Ian was one of our baristas at the kitchen, and he kind of helped shape the coffee there, which was always my favorite. And so I was glad when we'll go to the market just a sec. It's like his new favorite place. So I was really happy when they opened that pop-up. It's just nice to be able to go get a good coffee.
Especially when you're reading books, you can.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
You take your coffee with you while you go shop at the market.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about what does the market bring to the area that really hasn't been there before?
I mean, I think just having a grocery store that's not a convenience store, and you have Homeland over there on 19th Street. And so that little core right there in Midtown, just basically you have Heritage Hills north of us. You have Sosa to the west, and you have Mesta Park even further north. And then the edge where the market has 300 units right above it, and there's no grocery.
Right.
So just kind of trying to offer something like that where you could come get groceries. You got off work and you want to cook a meal. Like for me, meal times are really important. Just having something good with your family. So we're really trying to even make those considerations on the things we have. Like, you could grab a bag of pasta or a box of pasta, and we have some pesto that we made in house, and grab a steak or something and just kind of throw a meal together and have something good and like quicker. So that's even been fun. Is like I'm not there all the time, but when I am, someone's come in and I've been like, grab pork chop, grab these fingerlings, grab this thing of pesto, and here's how you do that, and throw together a meal, and it's like quick, and like somebody did that and sent me a photo, and they're like, this is a great dinner, it was so easy, and it's like that brings me a lot of joy to know that we could do that. And so we're definitely gonna try to keep going on that. I'm gonna develop some recipes around the things that we carry and just have them in the store printed out. It's almost like a guide for you to shop and like make something and not be intimidated by the things you buy. And then hopefully when people trust us, we get them to try something new. We'll have a new item that you're maybe not sure about, and we have a way to use it. And it doesn't feel scary buying it. Because some people are really great with that, and other people just kind of need a little help.
Right.
So I think we just want to be able to kind of walk them through the process if that's something they need.
I love that. I love that you provide the inspiration for an instruction on what, because sometimes at the end of the day, and I maybe haven't planned for the week because life happens, and you're like, what do I want to make?
Versus me, I'm like, I get home, I'm like, oh, let's make something on the fly. Like, I'm like, I always tell people I'm like the worst meal planner of all time because I don't want to be stuck with like, what, we're having that Tuesday? What if I feel like making poke bowls or whatever,
Right.
So I just like, I like to have like in a little bit, but I like to have it open and just do whatever. But I've also realized that not everybody enjoys that. And so we just want to be able to help people plan it out. And I kind of see it more being like, since it's so convenient right there, and even like some people walk, like kind of being a place, not where you get your groceries for the month, but a place where you grab, some items for breakfast tomorrow and maybe for dinner tonight and a handful of other things. And then you just kind of come by and see what else is in there. And because like especially like the local produce, that really rotates out depending on what the farmers have. So we just reached out to a handful of farmers, and that's been fun because the more we had one, and then they tell a friend, and then they call and they want to bring some stuff. So my hope is that part's really dynamic, and that people kind of learn like, oh, this okra is really great, and it was grown down the street, and it's available for a month, and then there's no okra, and then we'll have something else. And so it kind of gives you things like that to look forward to. But then we'll also have, your non-local produce that's going to be like limes, lemons, bananas, avocados, just things that people kind of expect in a store that are a little more common, even like apples, but we'll try to carry like organic apples, and always have berries just because I know people kind of want that stuff, but then have some really fun local offerings for people so they can try how great some of the local produce around here is.
I love that. It's almost like if you live in a big city and you're like walking to the daily market and just getting inspired by what you see and what's available seasonally. I love
100%. And you kind of get to where you expect it. You have like, oh man, it's almost peach time, or it's one season's coming up, and so I think that makes it really fun. And you kind of you don't take those things for granted as much when you know that they're seasonal,
right?
And so I think like kind of having a mix of the two things so that people can still, if you need, like, again, if you need berries, bananas, stuff like that, we're going to have them, even though those aren't always in season. We have ways, to get them. And on some of those things, like what we call like the Dirty Dozen, there's like heavily sprayed fruits and vegetables. So we try to, since we're so small, we can't have a ton of things on a lot of those items. We try to have only an organic choice.
Okay.
Let's just be, so like, apples, and if we carry grapes, we'll have that. Our berries are organic. So things like that are typically pretty heavily sprayed. We just will, if we only have one option, instead of not having an organic option and then having one that's conventional, we just have just the organic option. And that way it kind of makes it easy, and we don't have a ton of room. So it just kind of makes that decision for us.
That's awesome. And so then you also have amazing flowers.
Yeah, the flowers have been really fun. So we always kind of had this idea of, I like going to the market and getting, some flowers and a bottle of wine and doing stuff like that. And so we kind of wanted, we have this little flower wall. It's like a pegboard, and there's little like, French like flower buckets hanging there. And we are working with Circle Culture Farm in the Paseo, and then Pedal Pushers. They are out like Purcell.
Okay.
Oklahoma, and they bring flowers once a week right now, and it's just great to see all the beautiful flowers that they grow. And those will change too. So flowers that we have one week may not be available the next, and then they'll have something else. And so I'm really excited for that, and I just think it's a nice offering. it just kind of brightens up the store too. We just have these fresh cut flowers available.
It does. The display is so cute. So you have somebody there who knows about wines and cheeses and
yeah. So we had a consultant help us with our cheese case, and then the staff got training on the cheeses, and we just got that. We didn't have that set up when we first opened, but we have it with set up now. It got set up on Sunday, so now you can come in and get just we have just a small sampling, but a very good and like well chosen sample of some high end cheeses, and then we have steaks, pork chops. We'll have chicken. We have charcuterie. So we just want it to be like you can splurge and get like that nice stuff, but you can also get like turkey meat and pork chop or something, that you need, stuff that you need, as well as things that you might want. So
that's awesome. Well, I think everybody needs to go check it out.
Thank you.
It's definitely such a fun local experience.
Yeah, and that's what we want. I love grocery shopping, but I know grocery shopping can be like something that you have to do versus something you want to do sometimes. And we just want it to be fun. And, even down to the choice of like the market baskets. So we have these like beautiful baskets. They're like wicker baskets that have like leather straps. And so my hope was like to strap one of those on your shoulder and just fill your bag and take it up there. And then we like bag it up for you. And they're also available for you to buy if you really want one. But I just kind of, because the shopping cart didn't fit. The store's too small to have like people pushing out shopping carts. So we kind of had to come up with an option that fit the aesthetic of the store and was still practical. So, I just kind of wanted to feel like a little bit of sounds silly, but just kind of a getaway when you go to the store. So
it totally did. And I got sucked in at the register by pretty packaged chocolates.
Oh yeah, those are great. There's the little ones, and then there's the bigger size, and
yes,
those are fun too. I mean, and that's again like when I go, it's hard. Like I go to the store, and especially if I take one of the kids, I always end up buying them something at the register, a little, chocolate bar or something. So.
And it was little, so it's just like a small indulgence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who's doing the bread?
We have Big Sky, which is local.
Yes.
Trail Family, which is local out of Tulsa. And then I reached out to a girl who's baking. Her name is Michelle Bowie, and she's doing some breads for us too. And we got some of hers in there, and those sold out pretty quickly. So I think we're getting another shipment of her bread tomorrow. And so she makes this great milk bread, and then sweet potato rolls we got from her, and then more traditional breads from Big Sky, and then kind of like your Tuscan loaf. And one of my favorites is the holy granola from Trail Family. That holy granola is so good with our hummus. So if you just toast the bread and then put a little hummus on top, it's such a great snack.
That sounds so good. And then baguettes.
The baguettes are from Lee's. So my family love Lee's. Like it's just such a great option to go and pick up. Like we all love Vietnamese food. And so I just reached out to Jenny Wynn, who's like one of the nicest people. And I was like, we would like to make our house sandwiches on your baguettes. Does that work? And she's like, yeah. And so we just worked it out where we get baguettes from them every day. And then we thought we might as well just sell some too. People love them.
Yes.
And so we just kind of, put them in the basket and have them, for people to buy. And they've been real popular. People love them. And they're just like, they're nice because the size is nice and they're just like tender and they're really good kind of, I mean, my kids love them. My son's always like, grab a baguette when you go to the market. So
that was
kind of fun to have them.
We left.
And
he ate it in the back of the car.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's just such a fun little thing, just doing that. And so I'm glad we had made that connection and just kind of reached out to them because, again, we're big fans of theirs. And I think like I want to have as much collaborative stuff in there as possible.
Right.
I just love that spirit. If you can even like we have some cookies in there that this girl makes that have been really popular. I don't know if you got to have one, the strawberry cheesecake cookie.
Oh no.
This girl, Kristen Bella, is baking these cookies, and her company's called Flour and Company.
Okay.
And she's been bringing us these cookies, and they just like fly off the shelf, and it's so fun. They're so delicious. and I'm just glad that people know about them. And then even our in-house baker, her name is Daniela Cooper, and she has a company called Coop Cakes. She's been making these ham pies for us and scones in-house. And it's just so nice to have just people making these things and getting to share their talents with Oklahoma City, you know. And that just brings me a lot of joy to see, you know, somebody enjoy something that somebody made that they might not have known about, you know, before this. So I hope that continues in any way that we can do that, and just kind of shed light on some of those people, because there's a lot of people making really great stuff, and so it's just a matter of finding it and reaching out. And then it's hard because in a market you have to see if it works, right? I mean, you have to see, there's, you know, rules that you kind of have to go with, and that's, you know, so it's like finding things that work within that and getting able to, for us to bring them and share them with people is I definitely wanted the market to be a platform for that as much as we can. I
love that. It looks like that's exactly what it is.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chris, and Frankie.
Yeah. Now he's gone. Now that we're done.
That's how it works, right?
He's been hanging on. I don't know if you've seen the screen moving. He's been hanging on my arm about half the time, and I'm like trying to stabilize the screen while he's like pulling on it.
That's parenting for you.
Totally. I love it.
Working from home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
The heart behind the market.
Yeah, and I'm glad you got to stop by and check it out, and hopefully we'll see you in there again soon.
Yes.